Welcome to Super Garbage Day, a retro video game review show where my co-hosts and I are randomly chosen a game, usually obscure, 20 years or older, that neither of us have played, with hopes to find the treasure in the trash. I'm your host, Michael Wiener, and to my right is
Mr. Miller.
No, you're Harry Rimmer.
Harry Rimmer.
I saw the look in your face. You trying to remember it? You're like, what is it? It's Harry Rimmer. If you're wondering what kind of nonsense we're talking about right now, it's because last week's episode, Iron and Blood, Warriors of Raven Taint.
Shame.
Those two names were literally in the credits. So, but welcome to this episode. I just want to say up front that we have a Patreon. I'm going to say it now. It is patreon.com/supergarbageday. The rewards are, you can just sign up for $2 and you will get a bonus episode. I'm not going to start them until we get our first patron, but I can guarantee you at least 2 bonus episodes a month starting right now that nobody else can hear unless you're a patron, or the $5 tier where you can submit a game of your choice, even if we've played it, as long as it's 20 years or older and it's a console we can play on. And I think once a month, we're going to draw from that pool and play that game from the Patreon pool. So, and if you are a $5 donator, you will be able to submit 1 game a month. So,
and I will say your name sensually.
Yes. And I will say it nasally and occasionally drunk. And you also get the bonus episode. So I'm just throwing it out there. So as usual, Mr. Miller, I got a question for you.
Answer, Daily Double.
Yes.
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 Lay it on me, Trebek.
Yes. Hot shingles, you say. We were both pretty good at that. What retro sports game is your favorite?
Retro sports game?
Yeah.
NBA Jam.
Damn, that was quick.
Easy.
Yeah, NBA Jam.
NBA
now, hold
Jam.
on, though.
Put that big head mode on.
Wait a second. Which console? And
it would be.
We're talking NBA Jam Tournament Edition, NBA Jam the original, NBA Hang Time, which came after NBA Jam, but was also on all the same consoles.
It's probably. I'll say console first, but what edition? I don't have a definitive.
They're all so close.
They're
to be
all
honest.
similar. Yeah. It's like playing FIFA. Just the names change.
Yeah.
But yeah, easy.
Can I guess which console you played it on?
Go for it.
Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah, I was a Nintendo kid
yeah,
all the way through.
Yeah, man, I love that. That was a game that was the cheat code game.
Oh yeah, you put the big head mode on and like donkey or DK mode.
Yeah, you can play as Bill Clinton and Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
It's like a fever dream.
Nothing like setting hoops on fire and
and
it's simple. It's 2v2, but it's all with the stars and love and everything. So
right.
It's like you get Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, and Bill Clinton
and Bill Clinton
yes.
and Sub-Zero, and you have
and
a
Raptor.
Time. Yeah,
the Primal Rage Raptor. Yes.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Primal Rage Raptor.
I think it is in there, or perhaps it was just the Raptors mascot, and I just confused it. But I don't know. I'll look into that extensively.
I think there was a mascot mode, which was fun.
But I don't know. Did Midway make Primal Rage? I feel like they did.
I feel like they did. It was either them or Acclaim.
Well, Acclaim. Every
I know
this is an Acclaim podcast.
It's they were so prolific in the era we're doing. They had 1 million games.
Well, Midway and Acclaim actually joined forces too, I think, with the Mortal Kombat console ports.
Oh,
so
okay.
That was a big transition. Yeah, that's a great answer. Apparently there is a hockey style blitz / NBA Jam game I never even knew existed.
There's NHL Hits.
That's what I found out about this today, and I'm like, what?
That I actually love that game.
I hear it's fantastic.
I played it on the GameCube. That was the version that I
really
had. And it was dope because it also doubled as a fighting game. So
as hockey,
but it had like a combo system, and so you'd get into a fight, and all of a sudden you're just like, all right, I'm playing Mortal Kombat but on ice.
Yeah,
it was dope.
That's cool. I wonder if that also was made by Midway, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Midway Acclaim. Cool.
Yeah, because there's NBA Jam.
Goals are together.
Then there's the NFL Blitz.
Blitz, yeah.
And then there's NHL Hits.
Wasn't there like a soccer and a baseball one as well?
I'm sure they are, but
I don't know.
I don't know.
Tennis? No.
The only soccer game I can think of is FIFA or what is it? Mario
Strikers?
Strikers, yeah.
Or Mega Man Soccer.
I forgot there's a Mega Man Soccer game, yeah.
Well, my answer to that question would 100%, no matter what, I still play it to this day, Tecmo Super Bowl, dude. Like, it's so...
I never played it.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It is the perfect sports game. I mean, I'm a big fan of the EA Sports. I hate the company, but I'm a big fan of their hockey games. Like, my favorite actually probably being NHL 14.
Okay.
Because they added the NHL 94 like controls into it.
Okay.
And, like, kind of a fun mode in there. But man, nothing can beat Tecmo Super Bowl. It's a perfectly created sports game that anybody can get into, whether you understand the game or not. The game of American football. But if you've never played that, you've got to play that, man.
Yeah.
I actually have an updated cartridge version of it that I bought. It's a homebrew and it's the updated roster. Same game, but it's the current players.
Okay.
Which is really fun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Honorable mention, I do really enjoy Mario Tennis.
And Blitzball for me from Final Fantasy X.
Oh, really?
Blitzball was fun.
I from my understanding, you either love it or you hate it.
That was the only Final Fantasy I've ever beat.
Really?
10. Matter of fact, I would actually say it's the only one I played at all, to be honest. I think I played a little bit of 8, but 10.
I've mostly watched people play Final Fantasy. I've never.
Yeah, I'm not a big Final Fantasy guy. I think we've gone over this before.
I've played 1.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to see where it started.
Did you play like on the original NES?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then I have played. Let's see. I've played a bit of 8, mostly just taking over for a friend.
I liked 8 for what I played of it.
That's the one with Squall, right?
Yeah, and the gun blade.
Sword. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I helped my friend fight the final boss because he was like,
well, and that was also like a 3-discer, right? Or was it like 4?
It was absurd.
Yeah. I did play that one a little bit. I was digging it, but it was very complex. It was extremely Final Fantasy to me as a person who doesn't know anything about Final Fantasy other than 10. Like, I played 10 and beat it and liked it. And then I played 8 and I'm like, these aren't even the same games. Like, what is, I understand they're supposed to be like encapsulated stories and their own thing.
It's kind of just like it's a rule set and a magic system, and that's about it.
But 10 was so much different than 8. And like, I'm only basing this off me playing.
Well, they changed the combat system entirely.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I take that back. I did also beat Final Fantasy Adventure on the Game Boy when I was a kid.
See, Tactics was the Final Fantasy game that I played.
I hear that's good.
Yeah, but that's because I like tactics games.
I think I do too, actually. And I recall my favorite tactics game being back in the day, a game called Vandal Hearts.
I've never played that
by
one.
Konami. Yeah, and that game really resonated with me. And Disgaea?
I've heard of that, but I haven't played it. I'm a big Fire Emblem fan.
I never played that. So, anyways, guys. I still have a little bit of a hangover from last week's episode because, Senior Miller decided to bring over some pirate grog last week. And I realized while I was editing, I was like, holy cow, I was very drunk in that episode, but I had a good time. Like Mr. Miller has stated before, the content kind of dictated the drinking.
We needed it
for that one.
Yeah, it was rough.
That's not really going to be, or it's not my plan, but I don't know. We'll see. So today's game, or should I say this week's game?
Is it a game?
Well, I guess we'll get into that. But our game this week is Matchbox.
Shame.
Matchbox Caterpiller Construction Zone on the Game Boy Color.
Yeah. No, this game doesn't deserve that.
Okay. Caterpillar Construction Zone is a construction-themed educational puzzle game developed by Real-Time Associates and published by Mattel in January 2000 under the Matchbox franchise. However, the date of it is confusing because I read 1992, I read 2000, and I read 1999.
So it came out on multiple. Did it come out on multiple consoles?
Just for this one, the Game Boy Color one. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking the Game Boy Color didn't exist in 1992.
Did Mattel acquire the rights for Cat at 1992?
I'm gonna probably, because there was a lot of, I've realized diving deeper into this, there were a lot of like Caterpillar Construction Zone games, but they weren't the same. Like some were like tycoon games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been
That's further down. We'll talk about that. So I'm going to place this about 1999 because of
that's about when the Game Boy Color
Game Boy
came
Color.
out.
Yeah. Because originally last week we said, when I was reading off what it was, I realized I said 1992 and that's what it said on the actual Wikipedia page. And I'm like, that could, Game Boy Color didn't exist.
Yeah.
The second year
I think
the Super Nintendo?
I think they were just coming out with the colored Game Boys at that point.
Yeah, just like the system itself.
Mm-hmm, where they came in different colors than the like the Game Boy Pocket and stuff was coming out.
Oh, dude, I had a Game Boy Mini, and I had the original Famicom version.
Oh yeah,
or like the faceplate that looked like a Famicom, and I lost it, and I just looked up how much it's worth, and I was sick to my stomach because it's not like I sold it, I lost it.
Yeah,
legitimately lost it as an adult, not like a kid. Like I had it in a box, and I moved the box to a different house, and it's gone. And I actually adored that thing, but that is a total tangent. I apologize. So that's this week's game. First impressions, Mr. Miller, you go first.
It's not a game. Honestly, it's just to get it out there. It felt like for at least 80% of the game was just a series of tutorials. Mm-hmm. I think that description that you read of it being an educational puzzle game is very, very, very kind to what this is.
It's giving it more credit than it's due.
I mean, other than if you are obsessed with these big rigs and you really you don't have an owner's manual and you need to know how many horsepower the front loader
Clawmaster,
whatever it's called, like there's so many, there's a lot of trucks in this, and they're all, but it's not a game, guys. I was like, is this a blue collar like propaganda recruitment simulator? Like
what a bizarre medium to be recruiting.
It's obviously meant for very young children.
Yeah, that was my take when I first booted it up. Actually, just to let everybody know, we're now doing the first impressions of the games live on Twitch, twitch.com/supergarbageday. I did a live stream of me playing the game for the first time. And I'd like to get Mr. Miller set up to do that too, so we can like alternate or something.
I do have a Twitch. I'll just have to get it reset up.
Also, we have a YouTube channel now, so I will upload all of the first impression videos to the YouTube channel, which is YouTube. Actually, not .com/. Just look up Super Garbage Day
on
podcast on YouTube, and you'll find. But on there, you can see that I initially enjoyed the first screen and the music. I was impressed by the visuals. It's a Game Boy Color game, right? It doesn't look like a Game Boy game.
No, visually, it actually looks pretty good.
But definitely after the first 5 minutes of gameplay, I realized very quickly it's a children's game, just as you did. And actually, the first level, I kind of was digging it. You can see in my playthrough, I was like, oh, cool. There's a lot of little quirks they added. You know, the animations are pretty. I don't know. I'm assuming they're close.
They're fairly clean for what they're trying to do.
Right. And then when you back up, it makes the noise. But also you have these hyper realistic like cat machine models. And by cat, we're talking Caterpillar, the construction vehicles. And then you have these like super goofy minion, like Roblox looking dudes.
Yeah, they're all, I mean, they are very Japanese. And
I will touch on this later, how I feel like that is kind of like the sums up the game.
Yeah.
That sentence of hyper detailed machines and super childish, like little weird construction worker characters. The repetitiveness of the game hit immediately. So
I mean, that's how I felt the entire time. It just felt like a series of tutorials.
Right.
It's like
I also was wondering when the game would start.
and it
Halfway through the game.
it kind of it to me, I felt the last couple of levels felt more like a game.
You did bring that up to me via when we were talking during
Yeah.
the week. Yeah.
And then as soon as I sent that text, I finished the last level and I was like, oh, that was the last level.
You're like, it's ramping up.
Yeah. I was like, oh, there's finally a game now. And
Well, you told me that. You're like, there's a game now, and then I got no more text.
yeah. It's like
What happens?
I just didn't want to talk about it anymore.
But you know what? We both try to keep like our discussions of the game chosen as minimal as we can, but it's hard for us not to talk about some of these games. I especially like Iron and Blood. But yeah, so let's talk about gameplay. So this game has 11 Caterpiller construction machines, highly detailed.
Yeah, the models are actually very good.
I give credit where credit is due, and the person that was in charge of making this authentically Caterpillar hit it right on the head. They even have blueprint screens that are like, I'm gonna say cutscenes for the lack of a better word, that show you not just the machine and how it looks, but like the parts of it that work. It's like massive load.
It's massive load.
No, it's
soundbite that.
It's load capacity. A lot of other stuff I didn't understand.
It had its horsepower. It had like the amount of torque it produces.
Yeah.
It very much was like the tech specs of these trucks. So
Yes.
if you are that person that's into these kind of things, you might get a kick out of that.
I agree there. So like it shows you these things, and then it has you use these trucks. This is the gameplay, right? Like you use these trucks and these vehicles to dig ditches and move boulders and pave roads, and for some reason or another help fish go up waterfalls.
I thought that was a weird, where it's just
That
like,
was
you
weird.
got to build a fish dam for
I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? There's plenty of waterfall there for them. Me adding rocks is help. I don't know. Like jumping.
You're making a fish ladder.
I don't know.
What you were
A
making.
fish
Yeah.
ladder. It sounds like a British insult.
you fish ladder.
Yes, yo freaking fish ladder. Wow, I need to work on my British accent. And then it's got like simple first grade objectives. It's
if first grade.
It's the most simplistic fetch quests
you
can have in a game, and there's 28 levels,
especially because so it's like you pick up a boulder in your I don't even know what they're called.
Your zone.
Yeah, but you pick
like
it
your zone A. I was calling them like zone A's, zone B's, zone C's.
But you pick up a boulder and then you go and find the traffic cones and put the boulder in the hole.
Yes.
It's very much just
huge loads.
Yes, huge load.
We're never getting sponsored. By the way, we're sponsored by Hims.
And that would be a decent sponsor.
Oh, you're thinking about the hair loss one, not the boner hunt. Hims.
I mean, they do it all, Hims.
You know what?
Hims, if you're listening to this, please.
What if you mix the boner pill with the growing hair pill? But what if it ends up growing hair on your penis like a paintbrush? 28 levels.
Is that how many there were?
Yeah, I counted them.
Because I do know that it had a silly password system.
It was cute though, and it was effective. I think that was. I wish more games of that time period, maybe not 1999, or where we think we're dating this movie, where we are like, what's the term when you date rocks? It's like scientists figure out how old something is.
I'm pretty sure they just call it dating it.
Okay. So wherever we're dating this game, that password system's effective. I used it. So because I was driven to complete boredom, and I'm like, I got to step away from this. And it's 4 characters, and it kind of spells a little bit like it gives a hint of what.
It's like I think the first mountain level is Boulder.
Yeah, but it's
BLDR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one of them looked like cunt, but I say that in the first play because I was looking at they show you some of the credits in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
And on there was like legal advisor, and I'm like, why? But I'm wondering if that's the Caterpillar part of
probably
it,
negotiating,
or the Mattel part of it.
Yeah, what they can publish and
right. And then like the second password was like CVNT, and I'm like, whoa. I'm glad you got a legal advisor. It's an all ages game, baby.
Right.
But yeah, so that's the gameplay. That's all I can say. You want to add anything about gameplay?
My only issue with it is without a manual.
It is a manual,
even though there are 2 buttons. Really,
you're playing an interactive manual.
I know, but there were some of the rigs.
Oh, you mean the horn button or the
there was a horn button?
Action button? Yeah,
that's funny.
The other button just honks the horn
because there were some vehicles where those buttons were switched, like the pavers.
What? Oh yeah, because you had to drop it to go over, which for some reason was the most satisfying part of the game for me.
Yeah. Well, once you figure it out, yeah.
It's like that whole thing about pressure washing or something where it's just like just hitting those dopamine receptors.
Everything is clean now.
That was the one part of the game I actually enjoyed. Was like the paving part when you go over the rough road and you make it a new road and it gives you that little like cheerful noise.
See, I played it mostly with the sounds off because I was tired of hearing.
Yeah, the sound effects.
Like I don't need to hear big rig sounds constantly because I hear it constantly in my neighborhood all the time. Anyway,
hear it constantly in my head.
Yeah,
because of Vietnam.
Although I did 1,000 yard stare. I did appreciate the first time I backed up. I was even saying it.
Me too.
I was like, hey, it does the beep noise.
That's cute.
And then I'm like, all right,
adorable.
I'm tired of the beep noise.
Well, this is actually a perfect segue into the graphics and audio section. So, my first gripe, I like the music. I played the whole game with the sound on, unfortunately. I like the music. This is almost very similar to last week's review where the music is better than the sound effects. But my really big gripe on the sound and audio is that the sound effects are loud. They could have decreased the volume of those literally 75% and it would have been effective.
I mean, there was a volume slider.
But for the sound effects?
Yeah.
I didn't even know there were options.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a mini map until I accidentally hit it.
Yeah.
On the last level.
Which is also funny because that mini map, if you really want to geek out, you can go back to those schematics and get all the stats on your truck you're driving currently.
I got to give them A for effort, right? Like the game, and it brings me into this too. I should have brought this up. Well, I was going to bring this up later, but it's good time to bring it up now. This game had all the makings, had all the graphical, audio, and I believe like gameplay mechanics to actually be a decent RPG if they went that route.
If they would have had an actual level designer, they needed somebody to build real puzzles.
Well, they really did a good job, I think, capturing the construction world for a child.
But if I think if they would have. We're derailing from the graphics and audio, but
that's okay because this is still a little bit of gameplay.
Yeah.
So maybe we're just stepping back a little bit back into gameplay.
If I feel like if they would have let you have access to all, like do a first introduction, I think there's 11 trucks you said.
Right. And then choose between them.
And then they just have the lineup at a yard.
Or even Mega Man it. When you come across one, it's now added to your repertoire.
And you could switch between
You can switch between them.
Yeah. But like having some sort of system where you had to decide what truck was necessary for what job versus them just being there when they need you to do a different task.
Yeah, and it confused me because I know it's for kids, but some of it wasn't.
Right.
So I was playing this game trying to figure out what the target market was. And I realized what it was, and it's so niche. It's a niche of a niche. Niche. My girlfriend calls it niche and it bugs her.
Niche.
But I also came to the conclusion after many debates that it's both. Niche is the UK pronunciation because it's based off a French word, and Americans call it, or North Americans call it niche. So they're both right. So, and then she's gonna hear this, so we're both right.
We're both right.
Anyways, the niche is so niche.
Yeah.
It's like construction workers' kids.
It's exactly
who maybe might be into what their dad's into.
It's exactly what it felt like.
We'll love this.
I was just like, this feels like if my dad was a Caterpillar driver.
Right. And you're just into it. And you're
just like,
life.
oh yeah, daddy's big truck is so badass. And you want to drive it.
I agree with that statement, but I'm also confused. But how the game was made.
Right.
They created a game that is very directly aimed at a very direct market. And I'm wondering if the Matchbox franchise tag on it, is that really a franchise tag?
Yeah,
I guess.
Matchbox cars. I mean,
like Matchbox cars but they're everything.
They're a thing, but
but they also only had the Caterpillar franchise under their umbrella, so I don't think you can make Caterpillar branded toys unless you're under Matchbox.
Yeah, that's
so now I'm starting to figure out. Through my research, because this is how I'm spending my life at 39, researching Caterpillar Construction Zone on the Gameboy Color, and I'm actually loving it, to be honest. I couldn't think of a better life, and I'm being completely serious. But I feel like they had to make the game, and there was, and I saw the legal, like I said earlier, the legal advisor in the beginning credits. I'm thinking, okay, so this is a weird result of, because you can see the love that's been put into this game, and then you see like, it seems like it was halfway made by people who want to make a game, and halfway made by people who have no idea how to make a game, but they know how to make toys for children.
But they know how to make, it was the lawyer side of the
right. And I don't know if this is true or not, but
I would not be surprised at all,
right,
to find out that part of the contract of Matchbox getting the Caterpillar brand was they're like, you got to make us a video game,
and on Nintendo, right? Like on the Game Boy, like whatever's hot right now.
Yeah, whatever. It was basically it is a money making advertisement is basically what they were building.
I called it a what do I call it? Interactive owner's manual for children.
For children
who can't drive these trucks.
No,
yeah,
but they got the toy. But they might have the toy,
right?
And now they know how that toy is supposed to operate.
So it's definitely not a game that I'm like, how did this get made? It kind of, you can see all the breadcrumbs of how this game came to be. But I feel like there was restrictions, and the restrictions ended up being in the gameplay, because I honestly think the graphics are phenomenal for a Game Boy Color.
It looked
game.
A lot like the Super Nintendo Jurassic Park game.
It looked like not Game Boy.
Right.
Don't forget the Game Boy Color didn't really have like a superior motherboard compared to its
it's not the Game Gear
or the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking of like a direct competitor.
Right.
The Game Gear was essentially a small Sega Genesis.
Incredible.
I still have one at my parents' place.
I mean, technically the Sega Nomad is more the Sega Genesis, because it was literally a handheld system you could put Sega cartridges.
Right.
But you're right, though. You're right with that comparison. I was still impressed, though, because the graphics look great. And the whole time I'm playing it, I felt every time I had to backtrack and go back and go through all these landscapes they created and all these graphical assets, I was like, man, what a missed opportunity to make a construction RPG. You had everything.
You got to pull over and get a burger. And
well, I'm just saying, I'm looking at it, I'm getting like Earthbound vibes off of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, these houses, these roads, the way things look, the mechanics are there. Everything's built in. They just decided to make it the most bare minimum fetch quest puzzle game. I don't know what to call it other than this.
It's not even really a puzzle game.
It isn't. But what do you call it?
It's Me Drive Truck.
But there is a little bit of problem solving in it, though.
There's a little bit,
like the level where you build the pool.
But that was only at the very
the last 3 levels.
Yeah, it's like the very end of the game. It finally becomes a game. Like I've been saying.
Yeah. But I'm wondering, like, I can see where maybe this game may have some nostalgia factor to people who are like, maybe they're construction workers now and they were all about it. And I respect that. I have nothing against that. I just thought that the people who were in charge of developing the game and making it like fun and implying the mechanics of how it's going to be played missed a grand opportunity to make it more in depth, because you can tell that the audio visual side of it, the team that was in charge of that, really worked hard.
Yeah. I mean, the pixel artists did a great job. I mean, even the weird little Japanese construction men,
I thought they were charming,
but
and also they tell you what to do, and I was like, thank you.
Yeah,
there
were times where I was just like,
I waited around for them.
All right, point, please.
Yeah, I was like, where? I was like, I need your help. Sometimes when I like would leave the screen later on in the later part of the game, I'd come back and be like, oh God, they're gone now. I'm really on my own.
Yeah,
they're not going to point, because normally they would just point and tell you where to go.
There was
once they disappear, they don't come back.
Right. There was a moment, because I was playing a lot of this at my downtime at work. And
we had the best lives ever.
And I would, pause it to do something and then come back and be like, oh man, my little construction guy's gone.
And it's a game for children.
Yeah, I have no idea where to go. But it's not like it's that difficult. You drive around for 30 seconds. But
I suffered the same problems.
Yeah.
Like I would be like, and I played it for a couple days because I wasn't able to play through it in one sitting. But I can definitely tell you, man, when I was getting to like level 18, I'm like, is this game gonna end?
No, the fatigue set in.
So over this. And what's funny is my son, who's now just become a part of the show in a sense of he sees when I'm playing these games and gives me his input, even though I ask for it or not.
Yeah.
And he goes, he was like, wow, that game looks really cool.
Huh.
Because I played the emulated version on my
right.
Yeah. And he was like, no, it looks really cool. I like the sounds and everything. Not an hour later, he's like, are you still playing that game? This looks so boring. He's like, you're driving around empty streets. What's going on? I'm like, I'm looking for a dirt pile. He's like, you're looking for a dirt pile?
Yeah.
He's like, what kind of game is this? And started like making fun of me pretty much. I'm like, dude, this is a show.
All right.
Go back to
I didn't choose this. The gods of random did.
Go back to Minecraft. Dig your own dirt piles. But he was right, because I was like going nuts.
Yeah.
Near the end, I'm like, please let this be the last of it. There's no replayability here.
No. Which is so funny because it gives you that option.
Well, I guess, but
it does at the end.
I know. I agree with you when I'm saying, like, who? Even as a kid.
I don't know.
If you handed me this, you got to be the most diehard. My dad's like designs Caterpiller construction vehicles person to ever revisit this more than twice.
You literally have to have every Matchbox Caterpiller thing they've ever made.
Yeah.
Your room is painted yellow. You have Caterpillar posters. You have Caterpillar bed sheets.
Wheels.
You got you got a Caterpillar bed. You sleep in a dump truck. Like, you have to be that level of obsessed with these things to even remotely want to revisit it.
World Map was cute.
I mean, but it's not super useful.
It has no use.
Yeah.
It just tells you how much of the game you have left. And I didn't discover it till the end. And I was like, okay, good. I'm assuming I've been through all these levels.
The city's the end. Yeah.
So that's kind of a great analogy for the game is the world map. Because you're like, okay, you added this, looks good, has barely any use. Just like the game.
Yeah.
Looks good, sounds good. You're just pretty much taking a boulder and putting it in a hole. Like you're two.
Yeah. And
I don't understand who it's aimed at.
Well, and that's one of the problems with, in general, just the ESRB rating system. It's not a good gauge, especially when it's rated E, on who it's actually rated for.
Right, because they do have the kids. They did have the kids only, I think, like the KO.
It was a KO, yeah.
KO.
That's what.
Actually, let me look up right now if this what this had.
Because there's K to A, which is kid to adult.
There was a lot of weird ones.
Yeah,
they were kind of working those kinks out after the Mortal Kombat fiasco.
Right.
Yeah,
but I mean, because they do it in European countries and like Australia and stuff a little differently, where it's actually like rated.
This was rated officially E for everyone.
E for everyone, yeah.
Which, no.
This is. I mean,
if you're older than 7, no.
I was just gonna say it's like this is like 7 and under.
I don't know about that. My son's 7, and he was like, "This looks like the most boring crap ever."
Yeah,
he's like, but he respected like the graphics and the sound.
I also know some 7-year-olds that are still eating crayons. So.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
There's a spectrum there, and
well, you just kind of like accidentally gave my son some props, so I appreciate it.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming your child is more intelligent than
he's funny
than what this game was aimed at.
I judge intelligence by humor, and I can say that he's the smartest person I know. But he can't tie his shoes, so yeah, take that, Roman. All right, so I guess it's time for the verdict. As usual, I'm going to let Senor Miller give us your verdict on the game Is it a thumbs up, thumbs down pile of garbage or a hidden gem?
It's just a thumbs down. I mean, like I said, there was actually some work put into the visuals and the audio, even though I didn't experience most of the audio. But the times that I did unpause, like I wanted to see what the victory music was, and I kind of enjoyed it.
It's nice, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of that victory, like, yeah.
It's funny because I've never seen a parade with that many fireworks put on for
the
construction vehicles. Yeah. But that's
how happy did you feel seeing that, dude?
It was for me. It wasn't for the
yes,
trucks.
you're like, yes, it's over.
Yeah. But it's just it's not worth it. I wouldn't even, if it was just like a bargain bin grab and you're getting it for your kid, you're gonna get more gripe than they will enjoyment from it. So it's just pass it over, unless there is that person who, like, they just need that one last bit of cat memorabilia to round out their life, fill that little cartridge shaped hole for them. But it's not worth playing.
Okay, there you go. It's an official Senior Miller thumbs down. So my verdict on this is I feel the game could have been something more than just like a basic fetch quest. It had all the parts put in place to really be anything. It could have been an RPG. It could have just been more in-depth puzzle solving. I think that more than anything. It had everything put in place to actually be a decent puzzle game. I'm confused by the market this was trying to capture, though, since the game was like a mix of extremely elementary gameplay mechanics and extremely detailed information on the vehicles. I feel like the information that's provided about the vehicles and things are for somebody over 10 years old that would understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And the gameplay mechanics are for somebody between 2 and 4 years old.
Right.
That does not mesh well. I found myself so bored, I could not wait to finish the game. So, to be honest, this game gets my garbage can vote.
Yeah.
Because even though the graphics and the audio are well made and would be good on a game developer's resume, the game should not be played by anybody because it doesn't even know what its market is supposed to be.
I do agree with you on that. Like, I will say it again. Is it even a game?
Right. And it's too elementary, and I would have actually given it a better review if the half-assery of the graphics and the audio matched the gameplay. But it actually makes me more mad that there was potential there.
Are you mad or just disappointed?
I'm not disappointed. I'm upset. I'm mad at whoever was in charge of creating the gameplay or the game flow.
Yeah, because I mean, if I was a pixel artist, I
felt bad for the people that were the pixel artists.
I would be proud to put that in my portfolio,
of course. And you know, it will probably work. And I'm sure some of those people that developed this game and helped compose the music, hopefully they went on to better things. I mean, you get the backing of Mattel, you get the backing of Caterpillar. So I'm sure it was, but to me, like, the game was torture. The game would be torture to any age range from 100 to 10 years old. It wasn't like Iron and Blood, which is also a super garbage game. But that game was funny. I didn't laugh at all.
I wasn't viscerally angry with this game, though.
I'm not mad. I know you think that I'm upset like that, but I just felt, maybe it's just me when I see, like, I feel pain when I see missed potential. I didn't see missed potential with Iron and Blood. I just saw it is what it is.
It was trash.
Yeah. That team was they were coordinated and aligned on the dog turd they were polishing there. Mm-hmm. This team was not. And for me, I give it the same review, even though it is still not king of the trash heap. That's still going to be Iron and Blood until we find something.
Oh, I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for the grudge match between whoever tries to knock that.
It's going to happen. Look at our luck.
King of the pile.
We've had 3 games in a row, 3 episodes now where, like, we've only had one game, be it this is the 5th episode, but one game that actually got, like, our approval.
Yeah.
Rampart. So on the NES, definitely pick that up. I'm actually going to buy a copy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going to try my best to buy if any games on the show
that get
our like
gym.
our gym approval, I'm going to actually purchase and like hold on to because it's just I'm sentimental. So yeah, it's a part of the show.
The trophy case.
It's a part of the memories. Yeah. So I'm just that way. Anyways, this week we had a listener, a friend, and an awesome dude by the name of Daniel Canchiro. His last name is Canchiro. I don't know how to pronounce that. I've always been saying that.
How's it spelled?
Well, Kaneshiro.
Sorry if you didn't want that known, but
it's okay. I've announced his name on an older podcast, and
I think you got it. That you're gonna do it better than I would. So
well, he played this game this week, and he sent me his review, and here's what he said. This game is a simulation of a construction contractor, small on farms, then works their way up to make it big with city gigs. Interesting. I didn't think of that.
I mean, yeah.
With that being said, this was perhaps the poorest execution of resource and job item management I have ever experienced. Supplies are spread all throughout the property/city, nowhere near the actual job site. And I cannot fathom how this company even progressed past their first few jobs. It was, however, great to see the excitement of the other construction workers when you do the simplest of tasks. In terms of actual gameplay, this is a fetch quest. In terms of actual gameplay, this is a fetch quest game in the simplest of senses. I literally said that same sentence earlier.
Yep.
So we are on board, man. we're on the same wavelength. There's 60 to 90 minutes of content depending on how smoothly things go. Giving it a rating of E for everyone is far too generous.
Which we also brought up.
Yes. Daniel knows what's up.
Yep.
I can't say I can even recommend it if it were someone I can't say I can even recommend it if it were someone who was paying you to play it. That's a garbage can from a loyal and awesome listener. So thank you for
appreciate that.
And we want more of that. So if anybody listening, it's your first time or second or third time, and if you want to play the games that we are given by the gods of retro, feel free. Send us a review or your thoughts, concerns, or comments on the game chosen to supergarbageday@gmail.com, and we will read them live on the show. Well, live as in when we record it.
When we record.
Yes.
Which is it's live adjacent.
It's live right now.
Yeah.
I'm alive.
I mean, that actually just brings it back to what kind of podcast we are. And my
apparently we're categorized under leisure.
So. Leisure, yeah. I would put it under Schadenfreude because my roommate has just been like, "Why don't you guys play games that are good?"
Does he know that we don't choose?
And
them?
I was like, we don't choose them. They are random, and
also we can't have played them.
Yeah,
before.
And we can't have played them before. And it's more fun to watch us suffer than.
But also, it's very rewarding if we're given
when we do find something good.
So far, that has happened. So
I mean, Rampart's
great.
I enjoyed. I actually did. Going back to the very first episode, there are parts of Blood Rain that I've really enjoyed.
Well, now this far into some garbage. I'm appreciating Blood Rain more and more. I'm like, well, hell, I liked it way more than this stuff. Right. I looked forward to playing it. Like Caterpiller Construction Zone was torture. Iron and Blood was just straight up dog turd sandwich. So I don't know. Yeah, Blood Rain is like retroactively. I'm like, man, maybe I should have gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I'd rather play it. I would rather go through Thumb Screws than play Iron and Blood again.
By the way, I played. I looked further into Rampart. I played the Super Nintendo version. Way different.
Oh yeah,
there's like hot air balloons, and you can take out enemy cannons or like your second power cannons, and you can combine things together that make a hot air balloon that will go and drop. Like it's crazy.
Cool.
Yeah. So there's a whole Rampart rabbit hole to jump down. So guess what? This week, he didn't know this, Mr. Miller. This is a double week. We're picking two games. Actually, you are kind of. You're picking the consoles. And then we're drawing, or the Wheel of Retro will be choosing two games this week. We're going to play two games this week. And I'm thinking about doing this every time we're close to a holiday.
Okay, just in case like one of us isn't available.
Yeah. So I think it's smart to do. So this week, I, Michael Wiener, and Senior Miller will be playing 2 games, and then we're gonna have 2 separate episodes come out. So what's the first console?
First console, we're gonna do.
Wait, do you need the list?
No, I
you got the updated list?
I already knew what I was just gonna pick anyways because as I said earlier, I grew up a Nintendo kid, so I want to play a Super Nintendo game.
Oh, we haven't done that yet.
We haven't played a Super Nintendo game.
Oh, I'm excited.
We're sticking. So far we've been majority Nintendo adjacent.
Well, we've had 2 Nintendo consoles, PC,
and then Xbox / PlayStation.
Yeah, like one that was like multi-console.
Yeah, but I really would like to play a Super Nintendo game.
All right, let's see what we're gonna get.
And and then for the second one, just to get the console out of the way, I'm gonna, since I got dropped this double.
I told you to walk through the door. Yeah.
It's just gonna be another completely
double
random one, a double random.
Double random.
What do we got?
Okay, so for the Super Nintendo game, we have a game from developer WaveQuest, published by Raya Systems. That's Raya.
Okay.
And the game is called Packy and Marlon. Or Marlon.
How's that spelled?
That is Marlon.
Well, how do you spell Packy?
Packy.
Okay, that's not what I was expecting.
From 1995. I don't even know what that is. I've never even heard of the developer or publisher.
It's an elephant game.
Okay.
Packy and Marlon. An educational platform video game.
No! Okay, well, them's the rules.
Designed to improve self-care behavior in children with diabetes mellitus type 1. We are playing a diabetes game.
Educational game? What do you call it? Edumation or something?
Edumation.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
I never thought such a thing existed.
Well, that's number 1. So
okay,
let's draw the second one.
Holy crap.
All right, our second game is a game from 1993. Who made this? It doesn't even have a Wikipedia page, so.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's the name?
The game is called JJ Squawkers.
JJ Squawkers. Okay. There's a large.
I don't.
It's got an IMDb though.
Not a Wikipedia. It's IMDb. Is there a movie? I don't know. So there we have it. Those are the games this week.
Let's see if we can find this JJ Squawkers one. No.
JJ Squawkers. Sounds like a parrot like lawyer.
This looks so weird.
I've not even looked at it yet. All right, that's it, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Super Garbage Day with me, Michael Wiener, and my co-host,
Packy, the diabetic elephant.
Spoiler alert,
Mr. Miller.
We'll see you next week. We got 2 games to play. Love you. And may, I don't know, go with God. Viles con Dios. Take it easy, everybody. Don't play that game. Don't play a Construction Zone.
Enjoy yourself.
Yes.
Dad, I just want to say everybody, guys, bye.